Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while since I uploaded a video, but I thought in the context of this lockdown and with everybody facing economic uncertainty, and heaven knows I am no exception to that rule, right? That's no excuse just to, bring life to a standstill. And in fact, it constitutes every reason to try and improve oneself and to do something, right? So I'm going to continue learning Arabic, and I recently took another lesson with my teacher after a long break because I had to make, how do I put this, certain budgetary adjustments, right? Anyway, so lately I was working on comparisons, right? That's something I came across in this book I'm studying, and I was just trying to understand how comparisons work in Arabic. And well, basically, there's two forms of comparison, right? One is called the af'al pattern. Now, this has nothing to do with plural forms like fi'al, fu'ala, and all that sort of stuff. But it has a lot to do with simply using the comparative form, which is called the af'al pattern. Yes, Arabic is that hellishly complicated, right? But it's still a beautiful language. So, for example, it says here, and again, I'm a student, ana talib, right? I'm a student. There's the comparative form and the superlative form. Okay, so for the comparative form is you put an alif with a hamza at the beginning, and that basically shows that that something becomes comparative, right? A word becomes comparative. So for example, it says here kabir, which means big. If you use the af'al pattern, it becomes kabira, right? So what happens is an alif is added before the first root letter and a fatha between the second and the third root letters. Kabir becomes akbar. Jamil becomes ajmal. Okay? Tawil, which means long or tall, becomes atwal. Alright. Now it says here, as if that wasn't, as if it wasn't complicated enough, or challenging enough, I should say. Some adjectives share the same second and third root letter, right? And these are written together in the comparative with the fatha moving after the first root letter. Okay, so it says jadid becomes ajd, shadid becomes ashd, right? So shadid means intense. Okay, I'm just trying to think. If I wanted to say to a girl, I love you intensely, I would probably say ana ahbaki bi shadid, right? I think that's probably how it's said. It'd be like حبيبتي, أنا أحبك بشديد والله العظيم, أنت جميلة يعني. Right? Anyway, that's my line, guys. Don't steal that one, All right. What else is there? Okay, it goes on. It says in the final root of the adjective, if the final root of the adjective, this is for the comparative. Remember, there's two forms, right? There's comparative and superlative, right? It says if the final root of the adjective is a ya or a waw, this changes to alif maqsura. All right, now alif maqsura is basically written as a ya, but without the two dots underneath the ya. So ghani basically becomes aghna. All right, so ghani, which means rich, basically becomes aghna. Hillu, which means sweet, becomes ahla. It's a nice word, isn't it? Hillu. Okay, so there's some examples here. So I'm going to read this example, and then I'm going to try and make one myself, and hopefully that'll make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it's a learning curve. But anyway, so it says here to say the palace is older than the mosque. Okay, now the word for palace is qasr. So to say that the palace is older than the mosque, you would say al-qasr aqdam min al-masjid. Right, now remember the word for old is kadim. All right, kadim is old. So if you want to use it comparatively, you say aqdam, right? So al-qasr aqdam min al-masjid, right? The palace is older than the masjid. So let me try and use that to form a sentence of my own. I can say al-bayt aqdam min al-mataf, right? Al-bayt aqdam min al-mataf. The house is older than the museum. Okay, because it's a museum, how about we just do it the other way around, right? Al-mataf aqdam min al-bayt. Okay? All right, then the second one. It says here the car is faster. It says this car is faster than that car. All right. هذه السيارة أسرع من تلك السيارة. Now remember, the word for fast in Arabic is sari', right? Sari', and when you're using it in the comparative form, it becomes asra', right? So it would be هذه السيارة, هذه because bicycle ends with ta marbuta, it's feminine. هذه السيارة أسرع من تلك السيارة, right? Okay, now let me see if I can make one of my own. I can say bicycle, right? هذه الدراجة. I think دراجة is تا مربوطة, isn't it? Feminine, مؤنث, right? Yeah. هذه الدراجة أسرع من تلك الدراجة, right? Yeah, من تلك الدراجة. Or I can say yeah, is more okay. Assuming that bicycles can be beautiful, I can say هذه الدراجة أجمل من تلك الدراجة. Right? This bicycle is more beautiful than that bicycle. Remember, it's still ka because it's feminine, right? If it was a male item or object or noun, it would be ذلك, right? Okay, remember, once again, there's two forms of, there's two formats for comparative. The comparative for basically using comparative nouns, right? And objects, sorry. There's the comparative and the superlative, right? So we're focusing on the comparative, right? The third example they've given here, my house is bigger than your house, okay? بيتي أكبر من بيتك, okay? All right, now, what can I say as a comparison to make one of my own? I don't know if I'll ever learn this language. Kitab, okay. I can say كتابي أكبر من كتابك, right? Okay, once again, depending on who you're addressing, right? If I want to say your, if it's a female, I can say كتابي أكبر من كتابك, right? Because it's feminine. And if it's a guy, I can say كتابي أكبر من كتابك. Okay, then another form of comparison, right? It says the attached pronouns as used for possession can also be used with min. So they've given an example here saying أنا أطول منها. Remember, أطول is the comparative form of طويل, right? So طويل means long or tall. أطول means longer or taller. أنا أطول منها. So I can say, if I want to, and this means I am taller than her. So if I want to say I am taller than him, I guess I can say أنا أطول منه, right? I'll check that later on. أنا أطول منه. And then the second example is they're faster than us. هم, which is the plural pronoun for them, right? For them, sorry, for they. They're faster than us. هم أسرع منا, right? Okay. Okay, I can say what is the word for slow? I don't even know what the word for slow is. Okay, all right. I can say, okay, if there's a group of people and they're shorter than us, this is a silly example, but you know, it's just for the sake of learning. If they're shorter than us, the word for short is qasir, and obviously the comparative is aqsar. I can say hum aqsa minna, right? They're shorter than us, right? And if I want to say we are faster than them, okay, this is going to be interesting. نحن أسرع منهم. Or is it نحن نسرع منهم? No, it can't be nasra because that doesn't change, right? It has to be asra. So it can be نحن, we are faster than them. نحن أسرع منهم. We are faster than them. Anyway, I'll check that and see if I got that right or wrong. But yeah, that is then sort of a quick explanation of the comparative in the Arabic language. And I'll get back with the superlative. The superlative is also quite interesting, but you know, like there's another form here. It's called the akthar form, right? So for example, if it says here a longer adjective cannot generally be made into a comparative using the af'al pattern, like kabir, akbar, jamil, ajmal, right? And instead, akthar is used, right? Akthar, remember, akthar means more, okay? Kind of like the surname akthar, okay? Instead, akthar is used when with a noun carrying out the special tanween al-fath. So for example, if you want to say something is more useful, the example they're given here is you say akthar ifadatan, right? So this is, once again, this is for adjectives that cannot generally be made into a comparative. I'm not sure how exactly you categorize that, but anyway, it says akthar ifadatan which means more useful. أكثر انتشارا, which means more widespread or prevalent, right? Or أكثر ملائمة. ملائمة meaning according to this, more suitable. Anyway, I will get back with another video where we'll hopefully explore this or another aspect of the language in more detail. And my development continues. I'm sorry I haven't posted for a while. أنا آسف. ولكن لقد كنت مشغولا يعني, but I've been a little busy. I hope that was correct. Okay, طبعا. I will see you soon. Take care and مع السلامة.